In today's video, we are going to learn how to design a modern ID card for any organization, for your business, or whatever you want to use it for. And we are going to be taking inspiration from Google because there are thousands of templates out there for you as samples. So we are going to go to google.com, we'll search for templates, and we'll pick any one of our choice. What we are going to be doing is we'll edit the font, that is the typography, we'll edit the logo, we'll change the colors to our company. And throughout this video, I'm going to be teaching you how you can create your QR code from www.qrstop.com, how you can easily change colors, how you can easily change shape, the basic thing is that for you to get a customized QR code, you must do a subscription. You can subscribe for a month, which is about $7, or you subscribe for a year, which is around $90 or so that they will give you access to editing your QR code, like changing the colors and adding your logo to the QR code and all of that. But if you watch this video to the end, I promise you don't need to pay a dime for you to edit your QR code. You can change colors on your QR code. You will create QR code for free. So I advise you to watch this video from start to the end because I am going to take you through all the steps that are required for creating an ID card bit by bit. So let's begin. Now we're going to google.com to download a template for our design, and this is the best way you can stage your design. This is the best way you get inspiration for your design, instead of starting up with a blank page like this where you get confused, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to start, you don't know where to match your colors, you don't know how to design your logos, you don't know how your text would be, you don't know where to position your QR code and all of that stuff. But when you go to google.com and get your templates, you only change the font styles, you only change the typography, you only edit the write-up, you only bring in your logo, you only bring in your ID cards, you only maybe bring in your signature if that is required, you only put in your blood group and all of that stuff that is needed for an ID card. So the best way to make graphic is go to the internet, pick a template of your choice, edit it, edit the background. Of course, if you cannot edit your template, it means that another person from another country that is using that same template will have the same design as you. So to avoid having the same work as someone that has also gone to the internet to pick inspiration like you, once you download your template, be sure that you have changed the background, be sure that you have edited the colors to your own colors or your company color or your client's color or whatever you are going to do. But just make sure you add something to the template, make sure you do something to the template, make sure you make it your own. So we are going to google.com and we are just going to type in ID card template. Now in google.com you type in ID card templates. Now there are hundreds of templates for you to pick in, but first of all come to images so that they will allow you to view all the images that are here. Now there is one thing with images: you cannot click and edit text on images, but if you can bring this design to your corel draw and do whatever is done to the templates, then you can put in your own text, put in your own write-up or your client's write-up or your manager's write-up or your mother's write-up or your dog's write-up or whatever you want to do. So on this page you can scroll down and then look for any design of your choice. Make sure you are not far from the basic layout of ID cards today. Keep scrolling or keep scrolling or keep scrolling until you see a design of your choice. You can do this design, but of course I don't want my ID to be like this. I want a vertical ID card. Let's go up again and see. Okay, I think I love this one. So to save this template so that we can work with it, you right click on the template, you select save image as. Now Google will ask you where you want to save your image and what file name you want to assign to your template. So I want to save this template on my desktop, and I want the file name id card. Of course, I'm going to remove this s, and then I will tell Google to save my template. You can see the template has been downloaded, and to access my template, I can click on this little icon here and select show in folder so that I can see my image. Now this is my image here. If I right click on it, I'll copy it, and then I'll come to my CorelDRAW and paste it. Now there are so many ways you can paste it. You can combine the shortcut Ctrl V, or you could simply right click on this environment and select paste, and then your template will come into your CorelDRAW environment so that we can continue with editing and making our design, our ID card design, the way we love it and the way we want it to be. To enlarge our template, you click on the diagonal node and drag upward. Avoid enlarging our template with this node because it's only going to stretch our template. It's not going to increase the size or give us the proportion for which we want to have our ID card. So let's undo this action by clicking on this icon or pressing Ctrl Z on the keyboard. Now we'll enlarge it again one more time. I think this is beautiful. Yes. So what we're going to do now is, don't worry about the size. Don't worry about the size of our template. There are paper size for ID cards and all of that. And then we're going to pick a rectangle to draw our ID card before we start doing the inside and all of that stuff. Now let's take a rectangle tool from our toolbars, zoom into this template again. Please zoom into this template again so that you can draw your rectangle. Now I'm drawing the rectangle to match the size of my template. Next, select another rectangle, draw a rectangle. Now in CorelDRAW, whatever tool you have used, you have to drop it before you use another tool, or you drop it before you do another thing. Whenever you are done using a particular tool in CorelDRAW, you click on spacebar to drop that tool. The only exception for this shortcut is that if you are typing, whenever you use spacebar, you are only going to be adding spaces. So if you want to drop a text tool, you click on the pick tool. Every other tool can also be dropped by clicking on the pick tool. Now we are going to drop our rectangle tool by clicking on the pick tool or by pressing the spacebar on our keyboards. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to design this footer area of our ID card. So bring this rectangle tool to this side of your screen. Right click on your rectangle tool, the one you have drawn, the second rectangle tool, right click on it and then select convert to curve on the top of this dialog box. Now the reason for converting this tool to curve is for CorelDRAW to allow you to shape this rectangle into these little triangles that you are seeing on the base of our ID card. If you don't convert this rectangle to curves, you can never shape it. Now that we have converted our rectangle to curve, we'll select the shape tool and shape them into the triangles and go ahead with coloring them. Now select your rectangle again, select the shape tool. Notice that once I selected the shape tool, the edges of my rectangle have changed into these nodes, telling me that I can now shape my rectangle to whatever shape I want them to be. I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that effect because that is not what I want. I was only trying to show you the difference between these two rectangles. This one, I cannot shape it like it was. If I try to shape it, it's going to make the edge smoother, which is not what I want. For you to shape a rectangle too, you have to convert it to curve. which is what I'm trying to explain to you. Now that we have converted this to curve, we can zoom into it and then bring this node to this point, take this one downward, bring this a little bit down again, and this is done. Drop the 2 again by clicking on pick 2. Now we are done with the first rectangle. Do not worry about fixing this side of the rectangle. We are going to do all of that. We are going to color this rectangle. Assuming we want to give it the same color with the one with the color on the template, I will show you how to do that. But I will advise you that whenever you are copying a work from a template, first of all, design that template exactly as it is, then you can change it to whatever you want it to be. So we are going to give it the same color as it appears on the template. And to do that, click on the color eyedropper tool, because we want to copy the color from our template to our rectangle. You will notice that wherever I take this color eyedropper tool, it's going to copy the color and bring it to my rectangle. I will click on the color I want to copy and click on my shape, and you see the color transferring to my shape. I'm going to drop the tool, and you can see my shape having the same color with the one on the template. Next, I'm going to remove outline from this shape. To do that, select the shape and right click on this and select set outline color, and then there's no outline for this shape again. You didn't notice that because the outline was black, so when the black outline left this black shape, you didn't notice. But assuming the outline was yellow, you can now see the outline of this shape. I'm going to remove this yellow outline so that you see the illustration I was trying to show you by right clicking on this and selecting set outline color. I've removed the outline. Next, we are going to place this shape into this rectangle we have drawn, so that this rectangle we have drawn here, we trim whatever part of this shape we don't want. So to do that, we are going to power clip this shape into this rectangle, and the easiest way of doing that, you right click on this shape and drag it into this rectangle that we have drawn here, and it's going to give you options. Select the options, power clip inside. It's going to take our drawn shape into that rectangle. It's going to take our edited shape into the rectangle. Now you can see that the rectangle has trimmed it so that it is even looking like you can see. Let me bring it here so that you will appreciate it. You can see that because we brought the shape into this rectangle, the rectangle has trimmed the part of the shape that we didn't want. Now we are going to go inside this rectangle and bring the shape downward. To do that, we will select this shape and then you click on edit. You will not see edit on this side of the screen if you do not select the shape, which you have done power clip to. But if you select this shape, you will see edit on this corner, and as soon as you click edit, it will take you into the shape, and then you select our shape, you bring it down so that it can be trimmed into that rectangle we have on our template. Now that we have done with positioning our shape, you click on finish, and then it will take you outside again. Beautiful, isn't it? Now we are going to draw the second one. To do this, simply go into this first shape by clicking on edit and duplicate the first rectangle which we have drawn by clicking on Ctrl D. Now we have two of this shape. Select it and bring it down and change the color to orange and select finish. Now there is a little problem with our design. it's not looking the same as the template. Reasons being that from our template the orange is behind the blue or black, whatever it is. To fix that, we'll go into our shape again by clicking on edit. Select our shape, you click on edit, and then you select the one you want to take behind and combine control page down on Windows or command page down on Mac. So our orange is now behind the blue. We'll still select finish and see how it's going to look. This is perfect, isn't it? We have to adjust this orange to the left a little bit so that we'll give more space to the right as it is on our template. So let's go inside again by clicking on edit and drag it to the left a little bit. We'll do that again. We're still going to duplicate one of this shape, so let's go into this shape again by clicking on edit. Duplicate the orange one by combining Control D or Command D, and you bring it to this corner, the left corner, and change the color to this color. Change the color to this color. To copy this color to this shape, you come to your color eyedropper tool and then select the color you want to copy and bring it to the shape where you want to transfer it to, and this is done when you click finish. Oh, the same problem we had before, we're having it again. We have to take this behind the orange, and it's pretty simple. Take this behind the orange, control page down, and it's fixed. This is beautiful. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to color our ID card white. To do that, simply click on the shape and select the white color, and then we're close to finishing. Now we're going to design the top part of the ID card. Go into our shape again, edit, take one of these shapes and duplicate it. Select one of these shape and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D on Windows. Take the duplicated one, bring it to the top, and mirror it. To mirror it, click on this icon so that you can mirror vertically and mirror horizontally. Remember, we mirrored vertically and now we are mirroring horizontally. Do not forget you mirror vertically and mirror horizontally. Now enlarge it so that looks like what we have. Do not worry about the color. We are going to change the color. We are just trying to have it the same way we have it here. I think we are close to it. We are close to it. Yes, this is beautiful. Now we are going to give it the same color as this, which is orange, and this is our orange. Now let's go out of the shape and see what we have done. We'll go inside again by clicking on edit. We'll take one of these shape and duplicate it. Control D, bring it to the top, and then let's rotate it. Let's rotate it to about 90 degrees. Press enter. All right. All right, it's rotated but still behind the orange. Let's bring it to the front. Control page up to the front, drag it up a little bit, expand it. Good, we're close to it. Duplicate it again, Control D, change the color to orange, bring it down, I think we're close. I think we're close. Bring this to the right and take this a little bit. Let's go outside the shape and see what we have done. Next, we have to make this white effect that is here. We have to make this white effect that is here. We can easily do that by duplicating this again. First, let's go inside, duplicate this, Control D, and give it a color white. And then our white will increase the size a little bit, and then we'll bring it in front of the black, but we'll take it behind the black. Control page down, and let's go out and see what we have done. Yes, this is beautiful. The edge of our ID card is not as smooth as this one is. To make it that smooth, click on the shape tool and then you drag the nodes. I think this is okay. If not, you do it again. This is fine. Too much, you drag it backward, you bring it backward, and this should be fine. Now you will notice that we have an outline on our shape, which is making it look awkward. To remove the outline, select the shape and right click on this again, select set outline color, and then we have no outline on our ID card. We're gradually coming close to the end. Now let's save our work. To save your project, you come to File and then you select Save. Your computer will ask you where you want to save your work. Again, I want to save on the desktop, but I want to name this my ID project, and then I select Save. Next, we'll draw the rectangle for the passport by selecting a rectangle tool, which is this, and then we'll draw our rectangle, zoom in, and try to have it the same size as the template, since we are copying from the template. Now drop your rectangle tool, zoom out again, bring our passport here. What I want to do is, I don't want to have my passport go over to the top like they have done there. Remember, I told you that in as much as you are copying from their template, you have to like customize it to bring it to your own design. It could be that someone else from another part of the world is using the same template. So for you to have a unique template, for you to have a unique ID card that won't look like someone else from China, someone else from Mexico, someone else from Taiwan, someone else from Boko, someone else from Kasinala, you have to edit everything to your own personification. I am sure that for someone to have your mind, for someone to have the same mind with you, it's very rare. Even though they have the same template, they can't have your color, they can't have your font. Of course, your font could be awkward, your font could be bad, your color could be bad, your color combination could be bad, your idea could be bad, but just have it different from the template. You don't know what is good from bad, because graphics, whatever you do is graphics. If you mix colors, it's graphics. If you put the bad colors, it's graphics, because what you think is bad, another person will love it. Now we have our passport. Let's make the edge rounded again by selecting the shape tool and then moving the nodes like this. Now I think I have what I want. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to give it the color white again, and then let's remember to save our work. You can save by clicking this icon or pressing Ctrl S. Next, I want to bring in my passport, I'm going to come to my folder and select my image in and select my image. I want this one. I want to use this man for my passport. I will right click on, I will copy, come to CorelDRAW, right click and paste. Oh, it's way too big. Of course, you know that this is not a passport. This is just an image I downloaded from pixabay.com. I don't have a passport. I don't want to use someone's passport. This is an image I downloaded from pixabay.com. You would want to use your passport that will be perfect on all of that and all of that. So let's reduce the size of this man so that he can fit into our ship. I think this is okay, but we need to have him inside the ship. To do that, we have to power clip him inside again. So let's right click on this character and drag him into a rectangle, and then you see an option, power clip inside. Use this option to bring this man inside our box so that we can use our rectangle to trim him. Now that he's inside, although we have him trimmed, but we still have to adjust him so that he fits well. What we are going to do now is to go to edit and then zoom into our picture, try to expand it. You shouldn't do this to a picture. You are going to distort the size. I'm only doing this because this picture has already been distorted before. If you want to increase the picture, oh, this is bad, use the diagonal tools to increase your pictures. This is the best practice of increasing your pictures. Of course, now you see that there is need for us to remove this background and this gray background from this man so that we can have him on a white background, just like our rectangle is, because we want him to be on white background. Quickly, I'm going to remove this background. To do that, we'll use our shape tool. First of all, we select the picture. You come to shape tool. You can do this to any picture you want to remove background, and then zoom into the character. You have to zoom very well so that you don't make mistakes, and then you double click. This is a node. Double click where his shoulder stops. Double click at this point of his shoulder to add a node. Then double click here again, take this node upward. You can see that we're already doing this to him, and we're removing the background. So zoom in very well so that you can follow up where his shirt stops, the shirt stops. Do this bit by bit, please. I want to advise you, do not be in haste or you get it all wrong. Now if you look at the shoulder, it's a bit curved, so I can pick a node and bring it over to this point where I think the shoulder is curved, and then right click on this straight line and select to curve, so that by doing that I have converted this line to a curve. I can click on the line, bring it outward. I can click on the line and drag it outside. You can see that it's a curve, and then I'll click on the line again and bring it inside. This time around I'll be careful so that I match it with his shoulders. Now if I zoom out, you see that I'm getting it all right. You only do that to areas where your picture looks like a curve or looks like an arc. Now you double click again to create a node. You drag the node and put it on him. You double click To create a node, you drag and put on him, double click, you create a node, drag and put on him, you repeat that again and again, and then you are done with removing the background. So because of time, I'm going to rush this process. So now we're done with removing the background. To remove background is just to add node, drag node, and edit it. To add a node is to double click on a line, and to remove a node is to double click on the same node. So the steps are just right. Finish. Now let's remove outline for this shape. Well, I think we'll need to add an outline because this background is white. So let's add an outline. To add an outline is to right click on a color, you add an outline. But if you left click on that color, you paint the shape. But if you right click on the color, you instead of painting the shape, you'll be adding an outline. So the color is still white, but the outline is this color. So to increase the width of this outline, double click on this pencil that is here. After doing that, you double click on this, select the width you want to use. Let's use 2. You see it highlighted here. Let's try 3 or 4. I think 4 is okay. Yes, 4 is okay. 4 is okay. Next, let's save our work. Now let's write the name of our company, and then we'll design a logo for our company. We'll write the name of the staff. We'll also write the blood group. We'll also write the phone number, and then we'll go ahead and design the back of our ID card. To do that, we'll select the text tool. We'll type the name of the company. We'll press enter and type the name of the staff. These are all the text we need to be in the front. So what we are going to do now is to break this text to individual lines, so that we'll take the logo up, we'll bring the names where they are supposed to be, and all of that and all of that. So you press Control K to break the text into individual lines instead of paragraph. Control K. Then we'll bring the name of our company to the top. Jerry Wong is the staff, this is his blood group, and then this is his phone number. Okay, we'll have to type staff ID also. This is beautiful. This should be here. And let's choose a font for our DATs. To select a font, you can use the font that are installed on your CorelDRAW, or you can go to websites and look for fonts that are beautiful that you can use for your company name. So let's try. Let's go to a website and go to dafonts.com. That is the website where we are going to download the fonts where we'll use for our ID cards. So the website where we download our font is dafonts.com. Press enter. It has thousands of fonts that you can download, install into your computer and use in CorelDRAW or any other Word application or graphic application for whatever you want to do. So these are the categories of fonts they have. We have fancy fonts, we have foreign looks, fonts that looks have techno looks, bitmap, gothic, basic, and scripts. We have holiday fonts. If you come to Christmas, you see fonts that have designs that talks about Christmas season. I think you are beginning to see them. This is Father Christmas hats. These are leaves. All of these are Christmas stuffs, and all that and all that and all that. What does this say? No. Now, if you go scroll up again, if you select Valentine, you'll see fonts that talks about Valentine. Fonts that will give your visuals impression that you are talking about Valentine, you are talking about love season, and all that and all that. If you also come to Easter, you'll see fonts that so basically fonts under holiday, they talk about seasons. They give impressions about seasons. So you don't just use fonts because you want to type, because you are typing something and you need to use font, but you use font because fonts have meanings. They all have meaning, and they give meaning to our work or wherever we're using them. Let's look for a font that we want to use. For example, I think I love this one. This Yellow Candy. Yellow Candy is good. I think it will do well. So you can download Yellow Candy by clicking on download. You see, it was created by the CapType Studio. It has 65,849 downloads, and just yesterday it has been downloaded 2,434 times, and it is free. You can see that this font is very nice. So it has been downloaded already. Let's go to the folder and install it. Wait for it to open. Alright, this is our font Yellow Candy in a zip file. So double click to open the zip file so that we can access our font and possibly install it and use it for the company's name. Now, this is the font. You double click on it. It's going to show you a quick preview of how the font is going to be. So click on install, and wait for it to install into your computer. As soon as this installation process is done, we'll go to CorelDRAW and then we'll use our font. You will know that your font has been installed when the install button is fainted. It's fainted. It was like this, but now it's fainted. So close this. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this. Let's come to our CorelDRAW, select this font, come to our font style and search for yellow candy. Yellow candy. Yellow candy. Oh, I think there's a problem. Yellow candy. Oh, it's here. Look at it, yellow candy. So you see the name of our company. Now that's, I think this is beautiful. Beautiful. Let's give it a black color or this kind of color by simply copying the color and bringing it to our design. No, undo that. Zoom in so that you can place the color very well. Yes, I think we now have it very well. That's the name of our company. Even though I've downloaded this font, I think I don't like it. So let's use something that is different. I don't like the typography of this font. Cocoa Goose. Yes, let's use Cocoa Goose. Let's try Cocoa Goose. This is Cocoa Goose. I think this is better. Better than that. Better than whatever we used before. Now, let's create our logo. I want us to do a simple logo for our company. Simple logo for our company. I will draw a square. You know, in CorelDRAW for you to draw a square, you have to hold down the control key. You have to hold down the shift key. Sorry, not the shift key, but the control key. Now, let's rotate our square by 45 degrees. Type in 45 and delete this 0. Press enter. Good. Now zoom in a little bit. Now duplicate by pressing Ctrl D or Command D. Select the one on the top, bring it down a little bit. Select both of them. You can select both of them by holding down your shift key. After pressing the first one, you hold down your shift key before you press another one. They are both selected. We are going to combine them so that they become one shape. But before we do that, I want you to press the B button so that you put them on the same base. Press the B on your keyboard to put them on the same base. And then press combine. This is combine. It is now one shape. Of course, I want us to increase the outline. Double click on this pen again, and then let's make it 4. Okay, I think this is beautiful, right? The outline is way too much. I think outline is way too much. Let's see what we have. Let's reduce our logo a little bit so that it's gonna be beautiful. I think we have a beautiful logo now with our company name, staff ID. We'll make it let's look for a font for our staff ID, or maybe use our Cocoa Goose again. It's a kind of consistency when you use one font for all your design. It doesn't mean you are lacking font, but it's a kind of consistency. Just like I said earlier on, repeating one font over and over again, it gives your client impression that you know what you want to do and you spend all your life doing it. Now for our Jerry Wong, we are still going to use Cocoa Goose. Yes, I love this font. Increase the font a little bit. The main thing we want people to know is that this guy is Jerry Wong, but we want this font reduced a little bit. So let's make it 14, no 16, 18. 18 is good. Let's leave it bold, and this is beautiful. All right, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now let's bring this down a little bit downward. Down. This down again. And then I think our staff is going to do well with this color of ID. Yes. Let's put the staff ID inside a rectangle and then see what it's going to look like. Let's give it this color, copy that color and give a rectangle, give it a rectangle, and then we send our rectangle behind the staff ID, control page down, and reduce the staff ID, and then reduce our rectangle also, and then the edges, let it be smooth and friendly. I think this is beautiful. It's beautiful. Like I told you before, you don't have to do what is on the template. Whatever you do, I'm sure will be better than what anybody has done. So believe in yourself and do what has not been done before, because that is what we call graphics. Let's save our work, and we're done with the first part of this ID card. Remember, select it, select everything you have done, Control G to group. Let's do the back of our ID card. We don't need this again. Delete it, and then as simple as it is, duplicate this, Control D. This is the back. Of course, this is the back. We're trying to design the back. Now what you are going to do now is ungroup it by pressing this button, or Control U to ungroup. We grouped it before by combining Control G to group or Command G to group. We are going to ungroup it by combining Control U to ungroup or Command U to ungroup, or by clicking on this icon here. So by clicking here, we have ungrouped the grouping. We'll delete this because we don't want the picture at the back, and then we also get rid of this and this. We don't want any of this. We don't want any of that. But let's enter this shape and then do some kind of editing. Select this shape, come to our shape tool, try to do something special with it. Try to do something special with it. um Try to do something special with it. Let's make the designs, the back, simple. Select all of these, group, reduce the size, bring it to the side, mirror it again, mirror it again, um, rotate it at 0 degrees, and then mirror horizontally. If that doesn't work, double click on it and try to rotate it manually. I think this will work. This is what this will work, and this is perfect. All right, you can change this color here to remember we're just using two colors for our design, so just let it be. You can change this color, of course, to somewhat gray. Yes, this is beautiful. And then by selecting our shape tool, we'll bring this down, and take this up a little bit, and then we're finished. Now let's try to position this the right way so that it doesn't look so much what we don't want. All right, we are close to finishing. So this should be white, and this also white. That is an outline, so we are going to right click on white instead of left click. If you left click, you are going to paint the inside of that shape, which is not what we are trying to do. So instead, you right click on white and select set outline color, and you paint the outline white and save our work. Let's continue with this. Let's go inside this shape and then do some adjustment to this part of the image. You can see this finish. I think this is somewhat good. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create a QR code and place it at this part of our design for our ID card, and we'll be close to finishing this design. So to create our QR code, we are going to use a popular website called qrstuff.com. All right, this is qrstuff.com. This is where you can create your your QR code, simply selecting what you want to use your QR code for. You can see, just like it's written here, if you want your QR code to take your user to your website whenever they scan it, you select this. If you want your QR code to take them to your YouTube channel whenever they scan it, you select YouTube. If you want them to view an image when they scan your QR code, you select image. If you want them to view an audio file, to listen to an audio file when they scan, you select this. But for this, we just want them to read a plain text. So it's going to ask us to type the type of text we want to use for our QR code. You have about 10,000 characters for this. So feel free, type whatever you want to type, whatever message you want to leave to your clients, whatever message you want to leave to people that are scanning your QR code, so that they would be able to see, because the ID card is too small for you to be writing your services, for you to be writing your address, for you to be writing whatever you do or what you want to tell your clients, or all of that and all of that. But if you can write them here, whoever scans it will get it. So one other thing is that the QR code we are creating here is for free, so it's limited to only 50 scans. If you want to get an unlimited QR code, you have to pay, or you have to subscribe for a month, which is $7, or for a year, which is about $90. But for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to do a free QR code which is limited to only 50 scans. Whenever a visitor scans this code, he's going to tell him that we are DATS and this is the services we offer. If he wants to patronize us, he can contact us with this phone number, or he can visit this website, dats.com. Now you can click here to download your QR code. But let's say you want to edit this QR code, and you click on the color of the dot, or you click on the corners, like you want to change the color of this corner. Maybe you want it to be orange so that it looks like what we are designing there. You see, you want it to be like this, and then you click on download QR code. It's going to tell you only subscribers can style QR codes. So what's the meaning of this? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can edit your QR code without being a subscriber. All that will be done in CorelDRAW. So I want you to pay attention to get that. So no thanks, we don't want to subscribe. We can edit our QR codes ourselves. So let's leave it to the conventional black, and then download our QR code. You see, it's going to download here. Now it's telling us, notice your QR code has a 50 scan limit, or we know that. In fact, we know that our QR code has a 50 scan limit. We are only using this for a tutorial, and then they are telling us to open a subscriber account from $7.50 a month to receive unlimited dynamics and static QR code, unlimited monthly QR code scans, yes, unlimited dynamics QR code editing, analytics or whatever, so that you can know how many visitors you have, how many people have scanned, so that all of that and all of that. But this is just for the sake of this tutorial, so I'm not going to go deep into that. But if you want to have an unlimited QR code, you can sign up, create an account with qrcode.com. You make subscription if it is a monthly plan you want, or if your company will only last for a month, or you make a monthly subscription, which is $7.50, or you make for a year, or however you want to use the QR code. We say no thanks, and then we'll go to our download and get our QR code, because it was downloaded already. To go to our download files, this is the QR code. We click on show in folder, you right click on it, copy, come to CorelDRAW, and then you right click and paste it. Now you see our QR code. Now this is how we are going to edit our QR code. To edit our QR code, you go to Bitmap, you go to Quick Trace, it will now create two layers of this QR code for you. Allow it to trace it. It's done now. We now have two layers of this QR code. Select the top layer. This is the layer we need. We're going to delete the last layer which we don't want, and then because this is the layer we can edit actually. Now we're going to ungroup this QR code. We want to change the colors of these corners so that they look like the colors of our company. So this should be orange, and this should also be orange. This is also orange, and this is also orange. Whatever color you want to make it, you can do that. So now we can select this color and delete it, and then we can bring all of this. We can't bring it here because it's white, so we can bring it here, but we can bring it here. So now you see that we have a problem. This is black, but this isn't black. We need this to be the same color as the background, so let's use our color eyedropper tool and change the colors. Make them that color because we love to use it on that background. I think we're close to finishing. This is how you design an ID card by getting inspiration from Google, changing it into what you want. Alright, we are done with making our QR code. Remember to save your work again. So now let's go into this shape and bring this down a little bit. Yeah, I think select all of this group to tell the general public that Jerry Wong belongs to that, and if this ID card is seen anywhere, it should be returned to this company or the nearest police station. We can do that here by clicking on the text tool and then typing. So we are telling people that we know Jerry Wong is a member of this company. If should in case this ID card is found anywhere, it should be returned to this company or returned to the nearest police station so that they can locate our company and return the ID card to us. So this is it. This is just the note. Whereas the bearer whose photograph appears over leaf is a registered staff of that. Please, if found, return to the company or the nearest police station. You can change any of these colors to your color. Maybe you don't like this, maybe it's not good. Change to your color so that it's different from the template. I just wanted to be real so that you can follow this tutorial. Now if you look, the Jerry Wong is not centered on this ID card, so is the staff ID and the rest, but we need all of this centered. And select the ID card and press C. Another thing is we forgot to write the position of Jerry Wong in this company, but Jerry Wong is the CEO, so we have to include his position here. I've just been told that Jerry Wong is not the CEO but the director, so let's write Jerry Wong as the director of that. Director. And of course, we have to break the line again by pressing Ctrl K, and then this should come down. This should be red, and then it should be Coco Goose again, so that is going to be bold. In fact, bolder than those ones. Let it be 20 to emphasize, and then blood group come down a little bit. No, we take this up and then select all of this plus the ID and press C. I selected all of them by holding down Shift. You select everything in the front, you group them, you select this, make this 18 at least, and drag it down, and then select this and this, and press down Shift to select the ID card, group everything, and we are done. Now remember, these are not the regular size for ID card. If you want to make them the same size as ID card, maybe you want to print your work, you would come to the paper types and then select business card, because business cards are the same size as ID cards. Then select, give it a portrait orientation like this, and then you select your front, you reduce it until it size this shape, so that you know that you have the right measurement for your ID card. Well, it's not going to size it. Alright, this is perfect now. This is perfect. This size is good for this is the correct size. This is the perfect size for an ID card, but we don't want that. We are not going to print it, so we don't want to bring it to that size. All we want to do is to be sure that you can now design your ID card from start to finish, getting inspiration from Google, customizing your QR codes by yourself, not paying customizing your QR codes by yourself, not paying anyone to do customization for you, and all of that stuff. I think we've come to the end of this tutorial. Control page up, I want to bring it in front, so is this control page up again, and then I want to export it as a picture so that I can have it online on my thumbnail or wherever I want to have it. So I select two of them. I want them to be on the same base. I press B. Then the next thing I do, I apply a shadow to them. You don't have to do this, it's not part of the tutorial. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You don't have to do this. I'm begging you, you don't have to do this. I'm begging you, you don't have to do this. Please. It's just like telling you don't do this at home. don't try this at home. When you're watching movie, they tell you don't try this at home. That's what you want to try at home. But if you want to do this, feel free, you can do it. It's just adding shadow to what we have done. Now I can select all of them and export. Let me know in the comment section what part of this ID card, what part of this tutorial you love most, and then let me know if you are confused in any points. Comment below, and then I will get back to you in the next tutorial. I'm so happy that we have done this together. I'm so happy that we picked our inspiration together. We did everything together, and now we're exporting our work. So to export your work, just like I have done, exporting is just like rendering your project, removing it from your graphics, software. So you select all of them, maybe for printing or putting online. You select all of them, what you want to export, and then you press Ctrl E, which is shortcut for exporting. Select where you want to save it, and then change the file name to whatever you want to change it. But in this case, I want to leave it as my ID project, and then export it. Now it's going to export into a picture because I made the settings to be as picture. If you are confused on how to make it as picture, I'm going to show you after I'm done with this export. I'm waiting for it to preview, and good. I'm happy that it's previewed already. This is good and this is wonderful. I'm happy with it. You can make settings, but I would advise you to leave it like this for a start. For the settings are okay, you just click OK, and then if I go to my desktop, I will see my image. This is my ID project. If I double click on it, I'm going to open it. It's going to open as a picture, no longer a CorelDRAW graphic file again. I'm going to open it as a picture. I can upload this picture to Facebook. I can send it to my client. If I'm doing ID, let's assume I'm doing ID card for them, I can send it to my clients, and then they will approve before I print. So this is our beautiful ID card. Oops, forgot to add a serial number, maybe here or maybe here. So let's do that. Come to our CorelDRAW. Select this, ungroup it, select this, remove shadow from it, or you cannot edit your work. To remove shadow, you select your project, click on clear shadow to remove your shadow. Now the shadow is gone. We want to edit this, ungroup it, select our text tool, and type the serial number, which is DRT/ID/01. Sorry, ID/001. So of course it's going to be bold and white. I'm going to rotate it to 90 degrees, and then the size is going to be 12. If it doesn't do well here, we'll bring it somewhere here and then make it black or completely black. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe so that you'll be one among the first people to get notified whenever I post a new video. And of course, do well to share this video to your friends, share the knowledge so that we can make the world a better place. Like and comment, and please do not stop creating. I love you.